Good morning or afternoon, depending on what time you are listening to this podcast, and welcome to yet another episode of Do Geese Have Udders, the show where we ask the unanswered and answer the unasked, looking at news and online stuff too. I'm Michael Gooch, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend Matthew Thompson. You right, Matt?
What are you trying to do?
Good. Then let's start the show. Oi! Matt!
Yeah?
I've got another interesting question for you.
Yeah.
It's based on a true story. I just want to see which side you're on with this quick little story. So I saw this on Instagram quite some time ago, had it saved ever since. So a Florida man, we're doing a Florida man story. I don't think we've ever done a Florida man story.
I think we talked about alligators.
Well, they're not Florida men.
Kind of are.
Florigators. This Florida man, he was fined $48,000 for using a cell phone jammer every day for 2 years while driving to work. He admitted to police that he'd used the device on his daily commute for roughly 2 years because he didn't want drivers around him talking on their phones.
Which I think is valid.
And so he drove around with a jammer to stop other people using their phones, and he got fined for it. Do you think he was right for using his cell phone jammer?
Right, no, intentions good.
Yeah, that's probably the same way that I'd phrase it, I guess, because there's no real way of, someone might be using their phone like as a passenger in another car nearby. There might be an emergency type of thing.
Yeah, this man got hit by a car. Oh no, I'm stuck in traffic. Why is this not moving? I can't get through. There seems to be a phone blocker as they're like two car heads.
Why did you mimic like you're on your phone? I'm sorry, other person on the end of this phone. I can't talk to you.
Yeah,
someone's
911.
jamming my phone.
I'm sorry, there's been a car crash. Can I call you back?
Reminds me of, I think, when was it? The first time my phone got stolen when I was in secondary school. That was when I had my cheap, literally like the £5 phone. And when it got nicked, one of my friends, like genuinely seriously, said, "Oh no, have you called your parents?" And I was like, "No, I haven't, because my phone's been nicked."
That's cute.
That phone was given back 2 days later because the thief got found and they couldn't work out how to turn on my £5 phone.
Yeah.
Not that there was much, on it anyway, then a couple of numbers, and I had to delete the inbox after every 20 messages because the memory got full.
Bit Snake on there.
I did have Snake. I had Sudoku on it, that was it.
I've never got anything stolen from me, I don't think.
I don't think I've had anything stolen from me apart from that phone. What's your advice, Matt, to keeping stuff safe? If you had to give 3 tips, tricks of keeping stuff safe, what would they be?
Have a jacket with inside pockets.
That's number 3.
If you sleep with a rucksack on the train, make sure you hook your arms in it.
That number 2.
And always have a buddy watching if you're doing anything.
And that's number 1. Yeah.
What are your 3 things
for keeping stuff safe? Likewise, I like inside pockets.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Or zip pockets, they work as well.
Yeah. I don't take with me more things than I need. So if I do take my wallet somewhere, I don't, have it full to the brim with cash and stuff like that.
You have cash.
I've got some cash, coins. I've got an emergency £5 note in my phone in case stuff does go wrong, and sometimes it was a £10 note, but I think
you got to buy yourself onto a ship or
exactly, yeah,
things like
literally
that.
If I need to flag down a cab to drive me half a mile or
pay off a police officer,
however far £10 gets me, so I can just slide that into the breast pocket. There we go. Yeah. Didn't see me, officer. Any other words of advice? I think, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but like when I'm coming to this shed, as an example, when I go somewhere that's like not too far from my house, I don't take my wallet with me at all because
What if you want to buy chips?
Well, I don't intend to buy chips.
I forgot
if
my wallet
If I'm that
today.
desperate for buying chips, then I'll whip out my emergency £5. So
they do cost £2 round here.
Yeah, I've noticed you brought chips with you today.
Yeah, I was very hungry.
Yeah, I can tell. How did you get them without having a wallet?
I had my wallet. I did bring my wallet to work.
Did you stand on the side of the road with a hat and start dancing and wait till you got £2?
I wouldn't dance.
What would you do?
Sing.
What would you sing?
Oh yeah, have you got any spare change in your wallet? As they get their wallet out, I can show you a magic trick as well.
I just need to borrow that note you've got there.
Let me see that tenner. Thank you. Now I'm going to disappear.
Well, as you know, years ago, I say years ago, a few years ago, I dabbled in magic and things. And I remember someone saying in the UK, I think it was on Mock the Week, You know when we got the plastic notes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they're a magician's nightmare. Because unlike with the paper ones, you can't make them fold or do like certain things. The plastic ones, they're just going to ruin money magic for everyone in Britain.
I mean, most money magic was a scam anyway.
Well,
Get grifted.
I hate to say this to you, Matt. Magic isn't real. It's not.
I know it's not. It's a scam.
Real.
That's basically what I said.
But what are you talking about, though? I'm referring to, like, you know, when you hold a note in your hand and the magician sort of makes it fold in on itself. I picture you're talking more about the board is under a cup. Which one is it under?
Yeah, the 3 cards.
Yeah. 3 cards.
I was more thinking. See, my brain instantly went to the best magician known to mankind.
Okay, we're going to say his name at the same time on the count of 3, okay? Because I am a fan of magic and I know who I'm putting at the very top of mine. Are you ready?
Yeah.
1,
2, 3.
Paul
Jesus
Daniels.
Christ.
Okay, right. Okay, and I think I know the answer you're going to give, but tell me why Jesus Christ is the...
It was the best magician ever known. They wrote a book about him.
Well, yeah, Paul Daniels has a few books.
He did like The Great Escape for the first time.
Right, you mean when he disappeared behind a rock and then a couple of
nails
days
in
later
his
was like,
hand.
hey boys, I'm back.
I'm back. Hey, look at my hands. Whee! 2 eyes. But yeah, he's a great magician. Turned water into wine.
Yeah.
Fed a lot of people. Personally, I think he just had loads of fish in his trousers that night. I heard in the subsection
Look in this
of the
bucket.
Bible.
There's only 2 fish, and secretly there's another large
If you
sack
read between the
underneath it.
lines, he had very lumpy trousers that day, which was probably filled with fish.
Oh, they didn't write that one in the Bible.
I still don't understand why his flesh was bread. Personally.
Well, he clearly then must have he put slid his arm up his sleeve and replaced it with a baguette.
Goddamn baguette.
There you go. Yeah, one of those.
One
those
normal
old
baguette.
tricks, the old baguette in the arm trick.
Jesus used to have eczema, so he had tiger bread in the other arm, so it'd blend in.
That's just made it grim. It's just this scratching his arm and flaking off bits of crust.
It's not how you eat bread. But yeah, Jesus Christ. I don't know who you said, but you're wrong.
Paul Daniels.
Yeah, him.
Love Paul Daniels.
Nothing
He's a great
on Jesus.
magician. Oh well. I mean, Paul Daniels is also dead, so...
Oh, okay. Maybe they're doing magic together.
Maybe they're making magic in heaven.
If Jesus was real, I do not know because I don't have a time machine.
You know? Well, Paul Daniels was real because I met him, so...
Oh, yeah, I have no doubt he was real. But, Jesus, who knows? I just think he was a magic trick person who, got one fan who knew how to write a book.
Is tomato juice weird?
I don't have tomato juice.
Well, I never asked if you had it. Is it weird? I remember seeing someone drinking tomato juice the other day, and I find it a weird thing to have juice out of.
I think, no, because tomato makes its own juice. Now, I think carrot juice, that's a bit weirder than tomato juice.
Oh, interesting. How so? So we've got loads of different juicy types. You've got, your orange, your apple, your obvious, ones.
Everything makes their own juice, including tomatoes, apart from carrots.
Okay, but you've got ketchup.
And carrots are orange.
Isn't tomato juice just ketchup?
No.
Just a less viscous ketchup?
More
No?
liquidy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But isn't that weird? Drinking tomato juice?
Velocity. No, wrong one.
Okay, well, what about carrot juice then? Okay, so why do you think carrot juice is weird?
Because carrots don't make juice.
What?
You ever bit into a carrot and be like, that's
Juicy.
juicy. No. You ever bit into tomato and be like, that's a bit too juicy. Yes.
Yeah, but I've never bitten into a tomato and gone, you know what would make this better if I could have it in a glass and just drink it. It's weird. I just had it in my notes. It's just a weird thing I remember seeing someone have, just like cartons of tomato juice.
I have seen if you go in the juice section, there's some very weird juice.
What other juices have you seen?
I think in a corner shop I've seen date juice, which was a weird thing.
Oh, that's
to witness.
like dried fruity stuff, isn't it?
You know what dates are?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that, but juicified.
Blended up and pressed into a juice.
So Michael,
Matt,
eating these cold chips right now has come up with a question.
Okay. This is fueling Matt's brain power, so I'm gonna
be
very curious.
It's not brain power; it's more a question.
Okay, yeah, but
what's like the lowest meal you've ever had? Because I know my lowest meal.
What do you mean lowest? Do you mean lowest as in like geography-wise, as in
what? No.
Why would I think that? How low down was I when I had that meal?
Mate, can I throw something?
To be fair, look, granted, I think in like season 1, wasn't it, or season 2, we spoke about someone who ate like the highest meal and they had it like on top of a mountain or in a hot air balloon or something.
Maybe.
So on this podcast, that's not a stupid question.
More of a statement, but yeah.
I could have said what my lowest meal is, and you went, no, Michael, I mean, like, where underground have you eaten your meal? I can picture you telling me that. But anyway, sorry, lowest meal as in...
Well, if you're doing that, the lowest meal I've had is at sea level. I had it on a kayak, on the sea, on the open ocean.
We must have had it below sea level, though, because we've been caving sometimes.
No, we haven't been caving, we've been bussing. You went in a bus.
No, we've done actual caving, or were you not there for that one?
I don't know, I might have.
What was it called? I forgot what it was. Is it spelunking or something? That is,
Excuse me?
that's the word. That is the word for cave exploration.
This is a PG channel, you know. You're going to lose our sponsorship with WhatsApp.
That's the word. That is a word that means, like, caving.
Yeah, of course it is.
Anyway, so lowest meal.
Mummy, Daddy, I just came back from spunking.
Splunking.
Oh, Spelunking.
Sorry, Spelunking. It is North American.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
heard
it's
it
a word
wrong.
I've heard before. The exploration of caves, especially as a hobby.
Why don't you just call it caving?
Well, what we clearly do. It's clearly just the North Americans who call it splunking.
Weirdos.
Spelunking or whatever it is. Anyway, enough of saying the word. So, lowest meal, I take it you're referring to what's like...
Mental state.
Like, yeah, what's the most depressing meal I've had?
Not depressing meal you've had.
What do you mean then?
Right.
That's what I would take as what's the
Oh,
lowest
should
meal.
I tell you mine?
Yeah, go on then.
So mine was, I came back from a night out
Yeah.
at like 5 a.m. and I made a ramen with chicken, sweet corn, peas, a bit of pepperami in there, a little bit of flavour, a bit of spice. And
This doesn't surprise me though so far. I'm
yeah,
waiting,
I know.
waiting to be
and
surprised.
then I made it, put it to my side, had like a spoonful, and then fell asleep. I should stop touching it.
You should.
And then I think it was
It's
around
making noises.
like 8 a.m. I woke up again, hung over to hell.
Yeah.
I just had more ramen, this cold ramen, and then went back to sleep.
Now, see, now that
Woke up again.
Funny enough, cold ramen feels like a more depressing meal than everything you had just said.
Yeah.
In a warm ramen.
And then I woke up again at like 11 and had some more ramen. Still hung over to hell. Had some water. Went back to sleep. Woke up again. Had some more ramen. Finished it off. Had some water. And I think that was my most depressing meal because I was so hungover that I was in so much pain. I didn't want to leave my bed, and that was the only food source next to me.
To be fair, I've had a cold roast dinner before. I don't know.
I've had loads of cold roast.
Yeah, I know.
dinners.
That's what I'm trying to think. I mean, I've never had. I don't get hungover because I don't drink, and so
Yeah.
if I come home early, I'm literally just having like what's sort of left in the fridge, or if a family dinner was made, and for whatever reason I was unable to make that dinner, then I would just end up having it cold. So I have not had a cold ramen with sweet corn, peas, pepperami,
Chicken.
sorry. Then followed that with more ramen.
It was the same ramen. Don't say more ramen. Seems like I'm a crackhead who went downstairs and made another ramen.
You just couldn't finish this one ramen, was it? Or you made one ramen and then that was your three
Yeah, so
meals for the day?
it wasn't like a bowl. So I had these plastic pots you can put lids on, so you can put them in the microwave.
Yeah.
So I put the lid on it and then fell asleep. So it was the same ramen.
That makes this so much more depressing.
I know.
So much more
I
depressing.
know that I made it like
Not that long
4 or
ago.
5
Hang on,
a.m.
not that long ago. You were in a Michelin-star restaurant, and now all of a sudden, here you are eating the same pot of ramen.
that I made like 4 hours ago. 5.
Jesus.
Hey, if you don't appreciate the worst, you don't know what the best is. That's how it works.
You're the one making it.
I know, and it was lovely. Each time I had it,
you clearly
it was
had this
delicious.
other food lying around. You had this chicken and pepperami. You could have just had those separately.
Nah. That is
Chuck it all in a pot. I'll have that for all 3 meals today.
and it was delicious.
Oh,
Would do again, but not
God.
hungover.
Jeez.
Speaking of hungover,
Yeah.
what's your worst meal?
My worst meal. That's what I was trying to think. Well, I'm a fussy eater, though.
I know.
I'm an ex-fussy eater. I'm
Your
getting
favourite
better.
Yeah, your favourite
spice is flour.
Your
Yeah, I
favourite
get
spice
it.
is flour.
I get it.
I'm pretty sure you're moving on to salt soon.
I like salt. Salt makes my nose itch for some reason. Side
You
fact.
shouldn't put up your nose.
I'm not snorting salt.
Why is your nose itching then?
It just does when I have stuff like really salty crisps and all that. Now my nose just goes itchy. Thing to watch out for, people who know me. But my worst meal, what could that be?
Because your mum listens to this podcast.
Not regularly, no.
Okay, we can say her meal.
Her meals are lovely. Don't go. What are you dissing my mum's cooking for?
Good say.
What's she done? Why are you bringing her into this?
She didn't
Oi,
make me.
Why are you bringing her?
She didn't make me food that one time I came over. I'm still salty about it.
Well, yeah, because you were smelling of depressed ramen or whatever it was. I reckon it must have been something on. And you know what? It probably would have been a camp we did like years ago when I was at my extremely fussy stage. And I remember that this was a time when I didn't specify or didn't have the courage to ask for my curried chicken or whatever it was to be plain. And so then they had to then...
His food had flavour.
They had
no!
They had to then wash it. I remember. they had to... They rinsed it in water to make it plain again. That was a low point. But here's it. I'm not like that anymore.
Right, since
like
it was camp, it wasn't in a tap. It was probably some
Yeah.
water container poured on your chicken as
Yeah.
it was on your plate.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure it must have been like in this little pot, and they'd like washed it around a bit, make it plain, and slap it on my plate with the plain rice or whatever it was.
Oh, you're the
Yeah.
worst.
I'm not like that anymore. I will have stuff now with flavour. Now my dad is the fussier one in the family. I'm
He
very.
really was the fussy one. Where do you think he got it from?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I was fussy because of him, and now I am trying foods.
Have one of
and-
my ramens. It's very spicy.
I'm not having one of your ramens if you make it the way that you just described.
It was delicious.
Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. Don't forget to give that follow or subscribe button a click so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And why not check out our Twitter and Discord too, where we post updates, behind the scenes stuff, and just general other news about the show. Links in the description below. Got any topics or questions you think need a proper answer or have yet to even be asked? Drop it in the comments below or send us a tweet. Until next time.